Autism is a neurological disability that affects people in different ways and changes the way that they perceive and respond to their environment. People with autism typically have difficulties with social interaction, language, communication, and exhibit repetitive or restrictive behavior. There is no cure for autism, but with early intervention and a proper education, people with autism have the opportunity to reach their fullest potential.
Giant Steps is one of those places where we can prepare the students not just for everyday life but also for the future. We do a lot of functional programs for the students' needs, not for just now but also when they're a bit older.
Children with autism learn very well if they are in a social environment with people that foster their interests and understand their communication styles and sensory systems.
Caitlin was diagnosed just before she was 2. From about 18 months we noticed that she was different to her sister. She was in a world of her own. At first we were concerned that she might be deaf, so we did the hearing test, but then I knew that there was something more to it than that. Hearing came back fine, and eventually, just before she was 2, the doctors said that they thought that it was a pretty high risk that she would have autism. We happened to stumble across Giant Steps probably only about 6 months, not even that, maybe 4 months after she was diagnosed. We weren't really sure of what to do or where to go next, so we were very grateful when we got into Giant Steps and they took us by the hand and showed us what to do, and eventually she did start talking and communicating, and they helped sort through how to interact with her and how to best get the most out. They have the expert knowledge of how best to interact and to get the most out of the child. In an ordinary school they don't have the one-on-one support, and they don't have the speech therapist and the occupational therapist and the music therapist. They just have a teacher who's doing the best that she can with the assistance of an aide, and none of them necessarily have any specific autism knowledge or skills. Giant Steps only gets about 50% of the money they need to run the school from government, so we need to raise the other 50%.
So Caitlin and I are twins. I'd say like any other twins, like we're quite close. I remember being younger, I thought it was like kind of cool to have like a sister that was a bit different. I think Giant Steps has given her a voice, literally like through speech therapy, but also just, I don't know, in a way to like be understood. Like if we didn't have Giant Steps, we wouldn't understand my sister at all.
We have a little boy named James, and he was born in August 2005, and he's now 8 going on 9. When he was 2 years and 2 months old, he was diagnosed with autism.
Diagnosis was probably more of a formality at that point, but of course it changed everything. Our lives just became all about autism and what we could do for James.
When we came to Giant Steps, our lives changed, certainly for the better. James was always very stressed out when he'd gone to any sort of daycare previously. And virtually from day one he came running into Giant Steps, and he's loved it ever since.
He sits at clean his desk in class all the time. He sits and attends and participates in lessons, and he's a great student.